Hello, my name is Kevin from Carton School of Motoring is my business. Today we're going to do a short drive Maynooth to show you some of the issues learner drivers have when they're doing driving lessons and just to show them how to do them well. So I want to tell you a little bit about our business before we start. We provide driving lessons in automatic and manual cars, and we cover North Kildare and West Dublin. We do pre-test lessons in Naas, Munhuddart, Tala and Finglas. So if you visit our website, cartonschoolofmotoring.com, you'll find test route videos on the site and you'll find all my contact details there. We're going to start our lesson in Carton Grove Housing Estate. We're going to drive out onto the Dublin Road and drive towards Maynooth, down by Tesco. Okay, so we're going to move away. So when you're moving away from the side of the road, it's very important to do it well. So the car's in gear 1, get your gas up, bring your clutch to the bite. You check your left and right blind spot by taking a look over your left and right shoulder, then you indicate. Take in the view of the mirrors as you're doing your shoulder checks, and when it's safe, you move away. We're going up to the traffic lights and we're going to go to our right. So centre and right mirror and right indicator on approach. And a complete stop just before the line. Handbrake in gear 1. Moving away, quick glance to the left and then look to your direction of travel. Get to gear 2 before the point of turn. Look into the road you're entering. So we're going to drive down to the roundabout at Tesco and we're going to be going straight ahead. So if you look ahead up the road, you can see there's directional markings on the road. It tells you exactly where you should be on the road for straight ahead. So we're going to be slowing the car down, so you have a look in your middle mirror. Go lightly in the brake and come directly to gear 2. So centre and left mirror indicate left to exit off the roundabout. A little bit of gas and move on to gear 3. Taking a short, middle and long look down the road to help you to see everything that's going on there. Being aware of the pedestrian lights. And in the distance you can see there's some cars parked to the left. So if possible you can keep the door without for the cars, and if not, just slow down and ease in. So there's a zebra crossing up ahead, a junction to the right and left, and 2 sets of ramps. I'm going to approach those in gear 2. We're going to go straight onto the traffic lights up ahead. Now when I reach the next set of traffic lights, I'm going to go to my right, as that means a lane change. So centre and right mirror indicating to the right. Before I switch lanes, check my mirrors again. Looking up ahead, there's a filter arrow for straight on and a filter arrow to the right. So look down into the road I'm going to enter. I'm in gear 2. Straight out of the traffic lights up the Moyclair Road. So this is quite a narrow road, the lanes are narrow, the maximum speed is 50 km. So if you're turning out onto the Maynooth road from any of the junctions, you need to be careful. The lanes are quite narrow. Now we're going to drive up to the next set of traffic lights and turn to our right into Maynooth Hall. There's also a right turn into the GA field here, so there's hatch markings here, so you don't switch the lane to get past the second set of hatch markings. That's the first one's there, that's the entrance to GA, so mirrors and signal about there. Check your mirrors again, then switch over after the second set of hatch markings. So on approach then, braking gently, gear 2, look at the junction, turn into your part of the road, and it's only if there's nothing coming in the opposite direction on a green light you can make a turn. Now we're going to drive down to the roundabout and we're going to go to our right, just below the new schools here. So on approach to the roundabout, look in your mirrors, your centre mirror and your right mirror, put your right indicator on. Here also you can see there's a zebra crossing there as well, so you keep that in mind. Nothing coming from the right, so we're good to go out onto the roundabout. To exit off the roundabout, centre on the left mirror signalling left. Again, be aware of the zebra crossing that's close to the mouth of the roundabout. On gear 3. The ramp is high, so just brake gently. I think it's still okay for gear 3, it's fairly smooth. And if that was going up the hill, you probably would need to come to gear 2 for the next one because you're going up a hill into it. And you probably have to go too fast in gear 3. Okay, so for the next one I'm slowing down. I'm going to have a look at my mirrors and I'm going to come to gear 2. It's quite a high ramp. So onto the gas again. Gear 3. Now keeping your position on the road in housing estate as well. We're going to go down and take the next road to the right. This will take us back out to the exit on the Maynooth road. So centre and right mirror and right indicator. Braking gently, come to gear 2. Nothing coming in the opposite direction. Look up into the road you're going to enter just before you turn in. Look into the road and you'll see if there's any hazards in your way. And we're going left to the T-junction, so mirrors and signal to the left. I'm going to come to gear 2. Positioning your car well. Now here, this is what I was saying earlier, turning out onto the Maynooth road, the lane is quite narrow, so make sure you check it safe each way and make sure you turn into your part of the lane, that if there's a car coming up the other way, so into your half of the road. And we're going to go back down and we're going to turn to our right over the Kilcock Road. And just want to show you turning right at the traffic lights there. In the early stages of learning, it can be a little bit confusing for people, so it'll help you. here, so I'm braking lightly. I'll select gear 3. I'm switching lanes, so mirrors, centre and right in particular indicating. And again, additional mirror checks before you switch into the lane. Now, when you're doing mirror checks, do a series of glances. Don't do prolonged looks. The most important thing is to be looking where you're going. So mirror checks are glances. So handbrake. And at the lights here, so when the light goes green, on around green, we'll move up to the centre. And we'll wait if there's oncoming traffic, and if not, we can proceed. So I'm going to move up now to the centre of the junction there, stop over the box, the arrow, the box. So now there's a car turning right, so I can complete the turn there. And cars coming in on the slip road should give way, but be mindful in case they don't. So when you're moving the car off and when you're stopped at lights, just be aware of your surroundings. Check your mirrors, be aware of pedestrian and cyclist activity. When you're moving a car off, just give a slight bit of gas when you're clutch to the bite. So in a petrol car in particular, you need a small bit of gas first, then your clutch to the bite. If you come clutch to bite first, the chance of putting out are very high, and you won't be able to do it promptly. It's important not to over rev the car as well though, so just to be able to get that balance right. I'm going to drive up to the roundabout here at the college entrance, and I'm going to come around the roundabout and come back towards the town. Now there's a high ramp here at the pedestrian lights, so I'm going to brake, and I'm going to come to gear 2, and I'm going to have that done before I enter the ramp or go onto it. So on the ramp then give a little bit of gas and move on up to gear 3 then. I'm going right at the roundabout, so all the way around the roundabout, sorry. So centre and right mirror and right indicator. Slowing down, gear 2. Nothing coming from my right. Feed your steering through your hands. To exit off the roundabout, centre and left mirror, signalling left. Give some gas again and on up to gear 3. Okay, so again we're going back approaching that ramp again. So braking gently, keeping an eye on the lights, and we're going to be selecting gear 2. Easing up the clutch carefully. We're going up to the traffic lights here at Aldi and going straight on. When I reach the traffic lights at the church, I'm going to go to my right, down towards Dunn's. So centre and right mirror, right indicator, braking gently, selecting gear 2. So remember, slowing down the car, always have a look in your mirrors first. If you're going to increase your speed, have a look in your mirrors. If you're going left or right, look in the centre and relevant side mirror. Waiting at the junction then, being aware of your surroundings, the car is secure, handbrake on. You're fine to be in gear 1 with your clutch in fully, your handbrake on. So have a quick glance to the left and then look where you're going. Now I'm going to drive down to the traffic lights at Main Street, and I'm going to go to my right at the traffic lights at Main Street. So again, there's a lane change here, and you need to do all the proper checks on approach. So centre and right mirror indicating to the right. Again, just your mirrors before you switch into the lane to make sure nobody's come up on your right. Now at this junction here, buses come down and turn right, so just not to go too tight in the line, because if a large vehicle comes down, it's very tight. So what you want to watch here, sometimes people tend to forget, the road opposite you there that takes you up towards the canal or the fire station. Remember, if cars coming from there straight over here into this road, they have priority over you, so don't forget about them. So the traffic on my left is a filter arrow off to the left, and it takes a little while for us to get ours, so you'll be watching for your lights. And there is a hill start here as well, so to move off of the hill you just need to give slightly more gas than you give on a flat road. So maybe about 2,000 revs or just a little under. So on a normal move off, 1,500 revs is sufficient, but on a hill you do need to give a little more, or you cut out. So looking at the car directly across from us, they have shown their indicator that they're going to go to your right, so you need to be mindful that they're only showing the indicator, make sure that's the do. Gas, touch to right, dance to your left, look where you're going. So we're on Parson Street now. This street is quite narrow, and there'll be cars parked on the left at times. Sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't. So if there is, you may have to stop from time to time to allow for traffic to come forward. I'm going to come to gear 3 here. There is a car parked to the left. What I'm trying to do is get a view on up, which I am. Still okay, there would be adequate room there. You may not be able to keep the door with, so you need to have your car slowed down. Then some gas, and on we go. Now I'm going to go over the bridge here, and I'm going to take the next road to the right, which takes you towards Rathcoffey. So again, important turning right into this junction, not to cut the junction. So centre mirror and right mirror indicating to the right. Light pressure on the brake, keep a little pressure on the brake while you're selecting the gear and while you're bringing up the clutch. If you're going slow enough, then you can come off the brake. Look into the road you're entering, turn into your part of the road. Don't cut it. When you turn in, then look at your mirrors and continue. I'm going to go down and take the road to the left, up towards Bowfield and Meadowbrook. So look in the mirrors, centre and left, and indicating to the left. Slowing down, selecting gear 2. Ease up the clutch. Check the left mirror again, and look into the road you're entering. Turn into your lane. Gear 3. Slowing down again. Brake gently. Look at the ramp. See what's it like. So it's gear 3 or 2, whatever. If it's high, gear 2. Braking gently. Slowing down. I'm going over this one in gear 3. The next one is a little higher, and there's also a zebra crossing at it, so I will be coming to gear 2 for that one. And just having a look to make sure nobody's going to run across. At the next junction I'm going to go to my left. So centre and left mirror and left indicator. Position your car to the left side of the road, point in your direction of travel. giving way to a pedestrian there. So we're on the Meadowbrook Road, heading back up towards Maynooth again. Now we're going up to the junction here at the traffic lights, Main Street. So we're going to be going straight ahead of the junction, so you can see the lane on the right we're going straight on, the lane on the left is for left only. There's direction arrows on the road to tell you that. Now when you're crossing the junction here, you need to make sure you look in your centre and left mirror and you have to ease over to the left, just in case one of the cars on your left goes straight on by mistake. So it's something to watch, especially if there's in the Bentown and the college, a lot of traffic comes out there and some of them might just be familiar with the place. Gas, touch the bite, gear 2, look at my centre and left mirror and ease over to the left side. I'm going up to the next traffic lights and I'm going to turn to my right, so centre and right mirror indicating right. Just additional mirror checks before you enter the lane. This is going to take us right onto the Stratham Road. Approaching the traffic lights up here at Maxwell, a little bit of a build up of traffic. So look in your mirrors, start slowing down. I'm going to pop over to gear 2 here, ease my clutch up, drive up behind this car, so stop in about a half car length back, or just be able to see the tyres of the car on the road in front of you. So handbrake and gear 1 because the lights have come green again and we're about to move on. So again, just being aware when you're moving away, make sure you have a little look each side to make sure no pedestrian is walking across. So a little look to each side window in your mirrors there. So anytime you're moving away, you need to do that, because pedestrians can walk from your right or left and you won't see them unless you take a look. We're going to drive down to the roundabout at the Maynooth Business Park. We're going to take the second exit at that roundabout, which is straight on. And I know just from being with lots of learners there that find it a bit of a challenge, this one, because the roundabout is on a little bit of a hill and you must go by what the sign shows you. So if the sign shows you your exit is at 12 o'clock, then it's straight on. If the sign shows you your exit is after 6 and before 12, it's left. If the sign shows you it's after 12 and before 6, it's a right turn. And you have to react accordingly. So it's what the sign shows you the position is, that's what you adopt then. So at a junction, then you just have a look across the junction to make sure you can clear it, that you don't get stuck out in the middle of the junction. So as I said, at the roundabout we're going to be taking the second exit, which is straight on towards Stratham. So we're in gear 4 at the moment. I'm going to look at my mirrors. The first entrance one is an entrance, the next one is into the business park. Our exit is straight on. So lightly on the brake, keeping on the brake, coming to gear 2, no indicator in advance. Keep on the left side of the road. If there's nothing coming, just continue. Keep it on the left side of the road. When you're midway past the entrance to the business campus, centre and left for signalling. And just when you come off the roundabout, cancel your indicator straight away. Now we're taking the next road to the left, so centre and left mirror indicating left. So that's how you do that roundabout, coming in from that side. Now we're on a narrow country road here, and it's an 80k sign, and that wouldn't be appropriate for this road. So you have to make a fair balanced decision yourself. It would be much too fast if the road is too narrow. So it's important to know how to drive on a narrow country road as well. And ask yourself this question coming into a bend. If you meet a pedestrian walking, you meet someone walking their dog, and there's a car or truck coming in the opposite direction, will you be able to stop? As a pedestrian walking will be walking towards you on your side of the road. So you need to be able to take an action and react in time and have all the proper things done beforehand. Okay, so I moved on to gear 4 there. I did come to gear 3 for the last bends there because there's a lot of growth in the hedges there and the grass, and your view is very restricted. Now coming up here, there's a slight curve in the road and a hill as well. So again, I come to gear 3 because lots of times here you meet people walking a dog or something just when you're coming out of the bend, and you could meet a vehicle as well. And there's a fair incline. And then gear 4 again. Ahead there's a junction to the left and a bend and a hill. So I'm just coming up to gear 3. As a car can come out to the stop line on the left, and you have to be mindful there is a pedestrian, as you can see now, so we're slowing down. I'm going to indicate to my right and I'm going to come to gear 2. I'm going to stop fully now because the car coming from the far side towards me. So you can see the pedestrians there acknowledge the courtesy of giving them the opportunity. It's important to be able to react properly to pedestrians, and cyclists. Can't stress that enough. Now I'm taking the next road to the left. So again, mirrors and signal to the left. Now you're coming down a hill, so make sure you keep some pressure on the brake while you're doing your gear change. Do additional mirror checks before you turn in and look into the road you're entering. So this road will take me back down again towards Maynooth. So I'm crossing the motorway bridge here. Now you can see if you look at the sign, the main road goes sharply to the left, there's a minor road to the right. So it's a very sharp bend. So it leads to a slightly lower gear, so I'm coming to gear 3. And keeping your position in the bends is important. Now coming down this road here towards Maynooth, you know, there's a load of gullies on the left hand side where the water goes into the road. To be, you know, good practice like to identify them. They're all hazards, like don't whack them every time. And, you know, unless you have to move in with a car coming. So just go along the edge of them and try and see all those little things that make a difference. So how do you see these things? Well, you scan the road surface as well as looking where you're going for everything else. Again, that road is the speed limit on is the 80k, which is a bit high. So use your discretion. And then you have to take into account when you're deciding on your speed. There's a few factors you take into account. One is road conditions, weather conditions, the amount of traffic that's around at the time, and of course the condition of your car. If your car is in poor condition, you should drive at a reduced speed, just for your own safety and everyone else's safety. So we're coming into the 50, so we're just having our speed down under 50 now. And looking on ahead here, we can see it's a couple of ramps. So the first one here is high. I've described it as very high, so definitely a gear 2 ramp. So braking gently, looking in your mirrors as you're slowing down, coming to gear 2. And then on to gear 3. The next ramp is not quite as high, but on the very inside there is a gully there and you can whack the car, so just take it easy going over it. It's okay in gear 3 if you can keep your position well. Looking at the pedestrian lights, there is people standing there waiting, so the lights may or may not change, they may have pressed the button. So when I go down to the traffic lights at the Strafford Road, I'm going to go to my right. So centre and right indicator. Slowing down, I'm going to come to gear 2. So we're going nice, so I'm going to select gear 1, some gas, touch the back. If you're back in the queue like that, just have your handbrake on and be in neutral. Gear 2, approaching the line, quick glance left, then look where you're going. We'll drive up to Main Street and we're going to go to our right at Main Street. So approaching the junction here, always make sure when you look across the junction that you can clear it fully, even if you have a green light. junction then, we're going to be switching to the lane on the right. So centre and right mirror and right indicator. Now check your mirrors again just before you enter the lane. You should enter it at the start and then cancel your indicator, so you're not taking the first road to the right, up the lane there. So make sure then you don't block the junction. So you stop this side of the yellow box. And then neutral, and watch the lights, be aware of your surroundings, keep checking your mirrors, watching for cyclists, pedestrians, vulnerable road users, and all sorts of activity that's going on. So looking in the distance, the lights have come green, so I'm selecting gear 1. I'm going to get the gas up and clutch to the bite, and you always get someone that wants to cut in early. So now we're going right, as I said, so centre and right mirror and right indicator. Quick glance to the left, and I'm going to look where I'm going. So a person coming to the right on their bike there, that's a place where people walk over and back a lot to the bus stop, so you always need to watch it there. Taking the next road to the left, so centre and left mirror, left indicator. Check the mirrors again before you turn in. Then watch for the zebra crossing. We're just crossing there, so. And then this stretch of road is quite narrow if you're meeting oncoming traffic. So keep out adequate distance if there's nothing coming. The next part here we're coming into a bend, so slowing down nicely. On the Dunboyne Road, coming up to the ramp here, we're going to slow down, come to gear 2 for the ramp. The next ramp is very close, so I'm going to stay in gear 2. After that I'm going to give some acceleration and move on to gear 3. So looking at the road layout, you can see here it changes slightly, so you need to adjust your position. So anytime you're adjusting your position of the car, have a look in the mirrors, centre and relevant side mirror. So the road layout is just again here, centre and right mirror, and easing out a little bit again. And we're coming out of the 50 now into a 60. Roundabout coming up, so there's a warning sign telling you that. There's 2 exits at the roundabout. If you look at them, the first exit is before 12 o'clock, so it's a left, and the second exit is after 12, so it's a right turn. So on approach, centre and right mirror indicating to the right. Slowing down in gear 2. Nothing coming from the right, just continue. To exit off, centre and left mirror signalling left. Make sure there's nothing on your left hand side. Now, just to talk about roundabouts, you look at the sign. The sign determines which way you act. So if the exit is after 6 and before 12 o'clock, it's a left turn. If the exit is at 12 o'clock on the sign, it's straight on. If the exit is after 12 o'clock on the sign, before 6 o'clock, it's a right turn. So you must be in the correct lane for whatever the sign tells you. Drive up to the next junction and I'm going to go to my right. So on approach, you can see the sign of the junction. About here I'm going to look at my mirrors, centre and right, particular indicating to the right. This takes us back onto the Maynooth Leixlip Road. So I'm approaching the junction in gear 3. The stop line is quite faded, so get up to it where it was. In gear 1. Nothing coming, moving out. So I'm going up to the traffic lights and I'm going to turn to my right. So centre and right mirror and right indicator. And the lane change here. Before you enter the lane, check your mirrors again. Select gear 2. So it takes us into Carton Grove. So we've adequate time to make the turn. I'm just going to drive through the housing estate here and just tell you how to deal with any hazards that's there. So we're going to follow the road here. It's clear, you can see there's nothing coming up. I'm still in gear 3, but I'm driving under 30 kilometers an hour. So I'm taking the next road to the left, so centre and left mirror and left indicator. I will need gear 2 here. Look into the road you're entering. And we're taking the road straight ahead. So just be mindful in case anyone will come down from the left hand side. Just continue through. We're following the road to the right, keeping my position well to the left. Look over where I'm going. And it is important to keep your position on the road. Not really watch for children run in and out or anything like that that arises. Keeping close to the left for this sharp right on bend. Look up to your direction of travel just here and you'll see if there's anything coming. Slowing down, gentle on the brake. Keep the position on the road. Now I'm going up to the next junction, I'm going right, so I'm going to look in my mirrors and indicate to the right. I'll take a look up the road before I enter it. Some cars parked on the left hand side up here, so on approach, just mirror checks. You don't indicate in and out. Unless if I had to stop there to let a car come forward, then I would have to check my mirrors and blind spots and signal. So look into my direction of travel. So I'm going to go down to the next junction, I'm going to go to my left. So centre mirror, left indicator. Now I'm going to pull over on the left hand side here, so centre and left mirror and left indicator. And that concludes my drive around Maynooth. I hope it was some help to you. So you know to contact me. If you go to the website cartonschoolofmotoring.com, you'll find all my details there. Or phone 087 278 4494. Thank you for watching.